welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. Time to talk some Nats baseball. My buddy old pal, Jake Russell, the Washington Post, joining us here in Toyota Sports Talk. Jake, as always, good to see you.
Likewise, Scott. Thanks for having me as usual. I appreciate it.
Hopefully you had a great 4th of July. And, the 4th of July, I feel like always seemed to me like the halfway point of the Major League Baseball season. And you kind of separate the pretenders and the contenders, and you have the trade deadline approaching. What do you make of this Washington Nationals team hovering around the 500 mark?
They started out the season. Obviously, we've discussed this time and time again. David Martinez said he wanted to start out strong. They didn't do that. Then they went on a hot streak, and then the Dodgers came to town and kind of served them a little bit of humble pie as opposed to apple pie or cherry pie for 4th of July weekend. And that they kind of got a little back on track against the Padres in the first game, and then the Padres kind of got a little bit of momentum back last night in San Diego. They're battling a lot of injuries too. That's been a big detriment to this team, with Strasberg having been out for so long, and then the hottest bat on the team, Kyle Schwarber, getting hurt, and who knows when he'll be back. No one really knows his timetable yet. Injuries are a big factor into how they're performing the second half of this season.
I just don't know if they have enough juice to win the division. You look at the wild card. I think it's going to be very tough for them to get a wild card, because you look at the National League West right now, 3 very good teams in that division. So probably they're going to have to win the National League East. They're going to have to make some big decisions come trade deadline, because there's an argument to trying to trade a Max Scherzer or other pieces and maybe rebuild. And then there's an argument to say, let's try to make the playoffs. Where are you at, Jake Russell?
Well, I think the last couple weeks showed they've abandoned sell mode. They're not in the mode of selling. They've shown they can contend for this division. They're only a few games back behind the Mets.
Yep.
The whole Max Scherzer trade, are they going to trade Max Scherzer thing? The question had been looming for months from the national media mainly, and I think they dispelled those rumors. I think if anything, Mike Rizzo's in the mode to buy and tinker and to add depth and to continue to help strengthen the roster and give them more cushion for any more injuries they have the rest of the year. They brought in Alcides Escobar, the
pretty
former
good.
Royal. Yeah, he's been very solid so far. It's one of those kind of signings that you don't really give up much. I think it was just cash considerations that they gave to the Royals, and he's been very, very solid for them.
What do they need exactly, you think, come trade deadline time?
They could definitely use a third baseman, although Starlin Castro has been pretty solid for them when he's played there. I feel like they probably just need mainly depth, solid depth, to back up their stars when they're healthy, to fill in for them when they're hurt. I feel like they kind of just need to sprinkle it around throughout the roster. I don't think there's any necessarily one specific position, maybe besides, they need to find a third baseman of the future, because Carter Kieboom, who's currently hurt. He hasn't shown the what's the phrase? I guess the potential yet to be the everyday third baseman that they've been hoping for the last few years.
Big news yesterday at Petco Park wasn't necessarily the result of the game. Steven Strasberg throwing could be a rehab assignment on the horizon. That's good news.
Yeah, the Nats could use good news on the injury front, that's for sure. Strasburg coming back and staying healthy the rest of the way would be really big for this team, especially since Eric Fetty has had a couple of issues with staying on the roster with coronavirus, and then recent IL stuff he just came off of, and a rocky start Tuesday night in San Diego. So they need as much fortification of their starting staff as they can get. And that's what the team has been built on for years, is starting pitching. And if Strasburg can come back and stay healthy, that's going to be big for them to be able to contend against the Mets and the rest of the NL East for the rest of the summer and the rest of the year.
Jake, this bullpen is taxed right now. They got some big games here before the All-Star break. They need these starters to go deeper, 6-7 innings, because this bullpen, they're getting worn down quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their effort's been admirable, to say the least. They've been, recycling people in and out of the bullpen for the last few weeks, and their effort's been astounding, at least in my opinion. But the starters, as you said, they need to go deeper. John Lester has been a big culprit of that, going 3, 4, 5 innings, and he's addressed that, saying that's been one of his big issues with himself is he wants to go deeper into games, and he just hasn't been able to do that on a consistent basis this year. For the team going forward, they're going to need guys like Strasberg when they come back and Scherzer to continue to, rack up 6 or 7 innings, and that's going to help them further down the line.
Hey, Max Scherzer, he didn't get an all-star game nod. Did he get the short end of the stick there, Jake?
I've been trying to think of why he wasn't named to the all-star team, and I can't come up with a reason. I was it 2.1 ERA, something like that? I don't know how you can have that kind of ERA. I believe it's top 5, top 10 in the majors, and you're not on the all-star team. I don't understand it. Maybe there's going to be an injury. He'll be an injury replacement, and he'll be there eventually. Who knows if he even wants to go? Maybe he wants to rest, but I feel like he should have been at least named to the all-star team. I don't understand that snub, honestly.
Yeah, those are for higher paid individuals than me and you to make those decisions. Jake Russell, appreciate your time. Does a great job for the Washington Post. Jake, you're off the hot seat. Thank you so much.
All right, I feel better now. Thank you.
All right, on to some tennis action. I'll have a conversation with Francis Tiafoe, Hyattsville native. He is going to the Tokyo Olympics representing the United States. That's next on Toyota Sports Talk. Stay with us.